It's the,
We can hear you.
the weekly thing here. Um, so there's a Genesis. We have lots of stories. Bereshit. So I would continually encourage those that can to look into the Midrash. Now, it shouldn't take over the Torah, but it's a good commentary and it's a good companion uh, to have. Hold on a second. Let me pin this here. Can you? Okay. So, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the Midrash that's it kind of puts in it kind of fills in the pieces. Now, it's not to be taken literally. It's to be taken as a colloquial kind of kind of a companion piece, something to fill in the fill in the blanks. Okay, so there's a lot that goes in the midrash, this particular Torah portion, and I want to discuss a few things. So, if there is one overarching message of the Torah, I think Hashem is very explicit in that he wants us to take care of our own. He wants us to take care of those who can't take care of themselves. Throughout the Torah, uh, probably every few Torah portions, there's something about providing for the poor, providing for the needy, providing for the orphan and the widow and the Levite. In the Talmud, it says that you can tell the prosperity of a community among how well they take care of their Levites, right? Are their Levites well taken care of, or are they in poverty, right? So we have a absolute 100% clear depiction of the poor and the mistreated in this Torah portion. Okay, so we have uh, this is different than what I learned in Sunday school, and I think Christians, I think in the church, at least back when I was in the church, back when I was a kid, does a great job. At least the Baptist church and the Pentecostal church does a really good of instructing children on the Jewish scriptures. Right? We learn so much about the Torah and the Tanakh. What I mean Genesis and Exodus. That uh, when I was a kid and I was told, um, so I got saved because the preacher got up when I was 7 years old, and he was like, he told this hour-long discussion about hell and demons and being ripped alive and guts being pulled out and just horrible things. And as a 7-year old, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to be burned for eternity. And he's like, at the end, he gave this prayer. And he says, if you don't want to go to hell, accept Jesus. And I accept Jesus because I don't want to I don't want to burn in hell. Something I'm still recovering from the hell, the terrorization, the trauma of being taught about that false doctrine. Anyways, I don't want to go down that rabbi trail, but the when after the message and this is a traveling preacher and I said, hey, what do I do? I don't. What do I do? 7 years old, and like he's like, I don't know, kid, just go home and read the Bible. So I went home and he forgot to tell me he started John or whatever they tell you now. Started Matthew. I started at the beginning of as you start the book, and so I started in Genesis, and I just fell in love with this stuff. The reason why is because I was Jewish, right? There's a reason why people all over the world it sticks to their bones, right? All right. So uh, there's stories that we learn, okay, but it's not from a Jewish perspective. So we have our teachings um, that are brought over from Judaism have a similar stance. So we all have colloquial understanding that seems to come from other communal sources. Okay, so I'm going to discuss that. I'm going to try to get to it really quick. I apologize if I'm taking a little too long, but so our mother. So we've got a different situation here. So the story of the marriage between Yaakov and Leah, there in the Midrash says that Laban and Rachel, is it Rebecca? Rachel? Is it Rachel? Is it Rachel?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Rachel. Rachel. Okay. So Rachel and Laban knew, first of all, everybody knew that Leah was supposed to get married. This was a tradition. It was absolutely 100% disrespectful that Yaakov was getting married to Rachel. It's absolutely disrespectful to to Leah, right? He said, I don't care. Hey, look, I want what I want, and I want her, and I'm going to work for her, knowing full well it was disrespectful in his own culture, and it was disrespectful to Leah himself, and to the family, and to Rachel herself, right? And so Rachel, being a loving sister, matter of fact, actually, the Midrash says they were actually twins. Okay, they were born looking exactly alike. Okay, and the Midrash says that Rachel was destined to marry from the beginning. She was destined to marry Yaakov, and Leah was destined to marry Esau. Okay, and that caused Leah was a very, very righteous Zodicus. She was a very, very righteous woman, and she would pray and she would call out to Hashem, please, please just take this burden from me. I don't want to marry this Rasha, this evil person, this man who is vicious to his wives and harsh to them and treats them like cattle. Please don't let me. And it ruined her beautiful complexion. It ruined. I don't know if you've ever seen somebody that's overcome with stress. It just eats on you. It causes. You've seen those pictures of women who are on drugs and destroy their facial features. This is what happened to Rachel. It wasn't necessarily drugs. I'm sorry. This is what happened to Leah. Okay. So it just overcame them, right? And it changed her complexion, right? And Hashem was with her. Hashem was like, yes, I understand. I'm making a way for you, Leah. I'm making a way for you. And both Leah and Rachel saw this. This is her opportunity to get out from under that nasty person. The person is going to be disrespectful and abusive to her, and they made the way where she was able to be redeemed. Okay. Now it goes on. Now we can say that now this is taken also from the perspective of some rabbis, is that what Yaakov saw from the get-go was righteous. It was also driven by his desire, right? He saw a beautiful woman, and he said, that is what I need. I need a beautiful woman. But did he stay with that? Now, we can see that he loved Rachel. We can see that he loved Rachel because the way he treated Joseph and Benjamin later in his life. Okay. But where is Leah buried? Leah is buried in the royal tomb. Where's Rachel buried? Rachel was buried just on the side of the road. We have to think logically about this. Okay. Now, we could do as some sages say that, well, he buried her by the side of the road in near Bethlehem because she was a Zodic, and she prayed to Hashem, but to all the exiles leaving Israel, right? The people say that because she's prophesied as saying Rachel never being comforted for her children, right? But he had the technology. There is a technology available to him that he could have wrapped her up in the sheet, wrapped her up in burial clothes, preserved her body, took her back to the cave of Machpelah, but he didn't do that. He just buried her. Okay, he was like, okay, I made a bad decision, right? He could easily take on other wives, but he treated her. There's something that happened with Leah and his. So she, because of her faith, because of her praying, it opened up a situation where Hashem listened to her, right? The Torah is very explicit that if we misuse the poor, Hashem will be against us. There's a very scary Torah portion in the Torah portion of Balaam or Balak, and it says in the Torah portion, it's very, very sobering, scary situation where the angel of Hashem, some people say he is the representative of Hashem, or Memtet, Minatron, the representative of Hashem on the earth. And he stood before him. He said, "Today I become your Hasatan." We don't ever want Hashem to be our Hasatan, to be our adversary, right? And one of the ways that we can do that is mistreating those who are defenseless, right? So we have to be careful that we're always looking to take care of people. That's one of the precepts of our faith, okay? Because Hashem always responds in a positive way for the prayer of those who are oppressed. So, but it says, our sages say that through the birth of Benjamin, our mother Rachel was redeemed as well. But just remember that if you think that you are cast aside and that your prayers don't matter, just look at the life of Leah and look at how blessed, overly blessed she was. Hashem listened to her over and over and over again. Even after she had stopped childbearing, Hashem was like, okay, look, your prayers are so effective that I'm going to bless you. And a matter of fact, in the Midrash says that her prayer for her sister is what caused her sister to have another child, right? It says that you got to get the Midrash is a little bit fanciful here, but it says that Rachel was actually pregnant with Dinah, and Leah was pregnant with Yosef, and Leah, being the righteous person, said, "Look, Hashem, please give her." And Hashem switched them, right? That's what the Midrash says, and so it's neither here nor there. But it was the effective prayers of Leah that caused a change. Hashem listened to them because she was oppressed. So we should have the opportunity. Now, I also wanted to just say this real quick. There's two websites. We can today honor our mothers and fathers. We can honor the tomb of Rachel. It's unfortunate the tomb of Rachel is only kept by just few Jewish women. It's a Kever Rachel, and the Jewish state doesn't really seem to care about that because it's not as popular as the tomb of Machpelah. But the tomb of Machpelah, which houses supposedly Adam and Hava and Abraham and Sarah and Isaac and Rebekah and Yaakov and Leah, and also the head of Esau, by the way, if you can read that in the Midrash. But it was just turned over from the Quaf, from the up in the Lebanon to the Jews now control over it. But we need to pray that Hashem will make it to where Jewish pilgrims will be able to go and honor. But you can also support the various tombs. But so let us live our life in a way that we take our circumstances and turn them into effective prayers. And we also are able to look out for the the poor and the needy that we can help in our communities. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom Lachem.
But shalom.
It's it was very nice, Rabbi Safa and Rabbi Esayahu. The um the part that I would like to share of this parasha, it's the talking about the um pretty much the first aliyot till the fourth is the sons of Leah. Okay, I just mentioned the sons of Leah, and the details of the names of them pretty much represent it's like a numerical history in our days. Because back then, um, we just read in the parasha the name of the 12 tribes, pretty much, and starting with Reuben and then Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. Okay, and then we see a pause of Leah having kids, and all this. And Rabbi Asayah make me laugh when he says that, the man talking about the mandrakes and what they did with Yaakov. Um, Funny in the way Rabbi explained it, and kind of sad, of course. Because it looks like, oh, they treat our father Israel like like they treat him weird, like, hey, you're not supposed to. They sold him, right? They sold him for an herb. But anyways, the um the kind of math that I would like to do, and if you heard a couple of weeks ago talking about uh, the the generations, right? And Parashat and Bereshit, we were counting the 10 generations from Adam Rishon till Noah, right? Until Noah to Abraham Avinu. Here, these names, of course, it doesn't have doesn't start counting 10 generations. It's like it's only the names of the sons of Yaakov. But the commentary here that I'm sharing with you is talking about um pretty much the time of the years. So the representation of Reuben and Shimon, and it's going to represent Reuben is going to represent creation. So if Reuben represents creation of a man, then Shimon is going to represent the because Shimon is the if you understand the word Shema and Shimon and the meaning of his word of his name is to listen, right? Because that was Leah. Leah says, our mother Leah says that the Most High listened to her, right? And then she named him Shimon. Um, it's funny. My mother's last name is Shimon as well. It comes from that um from his name. It comes our last name from my mom's side. But anyways, the what the commentary says is that um from Reuben to Shimon, it represents 2,000 years. It represents from creation, and Shimon represent the prayers that from the Tzaddikim, Adam Rishon and Noah, and then Abraham Avinu. Those 2,000 years is the Hashem listening to those prayers, and Shimon represent those. So from Reuben to Shimon, it represent those 2,000 years. And then the other two sons of Leah and Yaakov, Levi and Yehuda. Of course, when I mention their names, right away you guys are going to identify the other 2,000 years and what it represents. Um, the Kohanim, right, from the Leviim, from the Levites, from Levi, and then from Yehuda. what is going to represent? The kingdom. Okay, the tribe of Yehuda. He received, of course, in the not in this parasha, but at the end in Vayechi, you guys are gonna this is a spoiler, I guess. is is going to receive the kingdom, okay, forever. And this is the fourth sons of Yaakov and and Leah. Okay, so it's interesting that the commentary says that this is in these four kids is already 4,000 years, and then what we receive in the 4,000 years, of course, we receive um, Yeshua. Okay, Yeshua, Mashiach, Melech Israel. Okay, even that is not Melech yet, as we know, um, and you guys already know my point of view of that. That Yeshua represent the Kohanim, okay, but the Kohanim not from the line of Levi, but because he's a firstborn, okay, firstborn of creation, and that's of course our personal interpretation. But those till there is 4,000 years, okay. And what happened after that? Leah stopped to having children. Leah stopped having children. What it then it happens what it happens with the mandrakes, right? And then it comes two other more kids. But what kids it comes? It comes the what it represents another 2,000 years, okay, and then um pretty much represented here. If we read and I have because I have the notes right here in front of me, and if you see in the recording, if you memorize this, is Isaiah 9. After Shabbat, you guys can ask me if you want, and I give you the notes, and you guys make a notes after Shabbat. But it's like in Isaiah 9, the first pasuk, it says, but there will be no more gloom for those who are now in anguish, in the paths of the land of Zebulun and in the land of Naphtali, where regarded lightly, but in the future he will honor the way to the lake beyond the garden, the Galil of the Goyim. So this here mentioned the Galil of the Goyim, saying the Galilee of the Gentiles, as we know it, right? And as we heard it in the Brit Hadashah in Matthew 4, verse 13 and 15, it's talking about pretty much the same thing. It says, therefore Leah ceased having children, right? After that, what we heard? We heard that she got all those other two children's, okay, and it's pretty much Zabulon and Naphtali. So those other two children of Yaakov pretty much represent, when he mentioned in Isaiah, represent that period of time of from the time of Yeshua till now. Time when he mentioned Goim, the commentary says that pretty much those 2,000 years represent the pretty much the way that this way that the connection of Yeshua, that is also represent the ladder of Yaakov in this parasha. Okay, and if I'm not misquoting in Yohanan John 1:15, talking about that he's the ladder. Okay, so this ladder or this connection, remember, on the way, the truth, and the light, nobody comes to Hashem if it's not through who? Through the Cohen, right? It's the Cohen is the one connecting. So himself representing this, also this period of time of this other 2,000 years of Zabulon and Naphtali. And in mentioning, as I say, talking about the Goim, it looks like the opportunity through conversion of the Goim, okay, to come to Judaism, to the sons of Yaakov, to be part of the sons of Yaakov. Okay, there's more commentary about that, pretty deep, and maybe too fast to just say it like that. It's probably very good if we do like a table with the names and trying to explain the meaning of the name and the connection. Okay, but that's pretty much it. What I would like to share to now. It looks like it doesn't have like a conclusion, but But let me try to say it in Spanish. Okay? Okay, very good. Entonces, Shabbat Shalom a todos. Estaba compartiendo de los hijos de Jacob y de Lea, mencionados aquí en esta parashá. Voy a intentar de ver cómo traduzco directamente lo que ya compartí. Entonces, comenzando por los primeros dos hijos de Jacob y Lea, que es Rubén y que fue Shimón. Rubén representando lo que es la creación del hombre, ¿ok? Esa creación desde el principio. Reú significa que mira, ¿verdad? De Re, de Ra, y Ben, claro, significa hijo. Entonces, el hijo porque me diste un hijo. Quizás es la conexión de Lea para nombrar los hijos. Y Shimón representa lo que es el escuchar de Shema, ¿verdad? Y él había dicho que Shimó es mi apellido de parte de madre. Nuestra familia utiliza ese nombre, ese apellido. Entonces, de todas formas, Shimón es la conexión entre Reuben y Shimón. Son los dos primeros hijos representando 2000 años desde la creación y que por Shimón su nombre ser escuchar, es las oraciones que el Eterno escuchaba de los Adikim desde Abraham Rishon, Adán Rishon, que es el primer hombre, Noah, Eber, Shem, y Abraham vino, hasta los tiempos de Abraham, todas esas peticiones y oraciones, el Eterno lo escuchaba y representado por Shimón. Entonces, Leví, claro, cuando uno menciona Leví y Eudá, entonces se entiende que son otros dos hijos de los otros dos, para ser los cuatro, ¿verdad? Los primeros cuatro hijos de Lea y Jacob. Leví representando qué? Representando el sacerdocio, ¿verdad? Representando el sacerdocio, los Kohanim, y Yehudá representando qué? Representando el reino, ¿verdad? Y como una conexión a eso, vemos la bendición que se le da a Yehudá cuando en Vallejí, ¿verdad? Ustedes van a ver eso en las parashas que vienen, la última parashá de Bereshit, van a ver cómo la bendición que se le dan a los hijos. Pero bien, entonces ya estos cuatro primeros hijos representan 4000 años, ¿verdad? Los primeros 2000 años de la creación, desde Adán hasta Abraham, pasan 2000 años aproximadamente, y otros 2000 años de Abraham hasta los tiempos de Yeshua, Mashiach, ¿ok? Que es nuestro Melech, nuestro rey, nuestro sumo sacerdote, ¿ok? Aunque no está ejerciendo él la posición de rey en la tierra todavía, pero entendemos que la primera es mi propia interpretación. Estoy abierto a otras interpretaciones, pero entiendo que Yeshua este, es el sacerdote que conecta nuestras peticiones, ¿ok? En estos tiempos. Y es precisamente lo que ocurre con los otros dos hijos de Rubén y Lea. Vemos aquí en la lectura que dice que luego que Lea dejó de dar a luz, ¿ok? Representando ese tiempo, ese espacio que se detiene. Vemos después cómo ella, por medio de su sierva, tiene otros dos hijos. ¿Cuáles son esos dos hijos que tiene? Son mencionados Zabulón y Neftalí. Y leyendo en Isaías 9, dice Isaías 9, verso 1, ¿ok? De acuerdo a la interpretación judía, si estás leyendo en una traducción en español, puede ser que esté en el último capítulo 9 de Isaías, ¿ok? El último verso del capítulo 9. Entonces dice así Isaías 9: mas no habrá siempre oscuridad para la que está ahora en angustia, tal como la aflicción que le vino en el tiempo que livianamente tocaron la primera vez en la tierra de Zabulón y en la tierra de Neftalí. Pues al fin llegará la gloria, el camino del camino al mar, de aquel lado del Jordán, en la Galilea de los gentiles. Entonces, cuando vemos esto en Galilea de los gentiles que menciona Isaías, nos conecta en el Brit Hadashah a Mateo 4, 13 y 15, que principalmente está mencionando, eh, habla de la tierra de Neftalí de Zabulón y conecta también y menciona, principalmente citando este verso de Isaías 9. Entonces, ¿qué voy con estos dos otros hijos de Lea? Que Zabulón y Neftalí, representando tierra de gentiles, prácticamente representan otros 2000 años de los tiempos de Yeshua tras nuestros tiempos, conectando así, al mencionar los gentiles, esa conexión que van a tener los gentiles por medio de la conversión. ¿Conversión por medio de qué? Conexión al judaísmo, pero prácticamente conexión, como dice en Mateo, que recuérdense que las conversiones comienzan prácticamente con Rafael, ¿verdad? Y Yeshua continúa esta línea, como podemos ver, y vemos que la conexión ahora de traer a conversión a gentiles al judaísmo, eh, tienen esa conexión de 2000 años, desde esos tiempos hasta los tiempos nuestros. Y es más larga la interpretación, más larga quizás los comentarios, pero quizás podemos extender eso más. Ese es parte de lo que quería compartir. Se siente un poco como de que no hay una conclusión, pero hasta aquí esta parte de compartir estos 6000 años de historia, los primeros 2000 años, desde Rubén hasta Simón, que representan hasta Abraham, de Abraham hasta Yeshua, representando los tiempos sacerdotales levíticos, de Leví hasta y el reino de Yehudá y Zabulón y Neftalí en nuestros tiempos. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.